I worked as an Amazon delivery driver for 3 months, so that hopefully you don't have to. This job, oh boy, this job was not what I expected at all. And sometimes it was seriously crazy and super unhinged. And I definitely have some stories to tell you. So let's go through it all. The pros, the cons, the goods, bads, uglies. All of it. Let's just go through all of it. I stole this hat, by the way. So I first want to tell you that when you get a job at Amazon, you're not working for Amazon, you're working for what is called a DSP, a delivery service partner. These are companies that are contracted by Amazon to deliver your packages, which I also thought this was pretty weird because when I applied on the Amazon website. It just doesn't really make sense. There's a disconnect there. And right after I applied, it told me a date, time, and location on where to go for my interview. Except for when I got to the warehouse, there was literally nobody there. So then I was awkwardly sitting there for like 45 minutes waiting for somebody to just come do like a normal interview. Then finally, a guy named Oscar came from out of nowhere and did my interview, which by the way, wasn't even really an interview. They just told me a little bit about the job, the required hours for the season, and how much I would be getting paid. And at this point, it was about $20 an hour. And I learned that the hiring process is actually super easy because they will literally hire anybody because their turnover rate is so high. So after my interview, I had to do a background check, a drug screen, and I literally started the job the next week. Now I think we should talk about the training process. They make you sit in this completely like empty room with a bunch of people who are also training, and they literally tell you everything that you need to do on the job. But they deliver it via PowerPoint. On the second day, you have an exam over all of that information and you take a driving test, which both are really, really easy. As long as you paid attention to the first day, and if you obey the laws of traffic, you should be good. But when I tell you, it was boring. It was probably, honestly, the most painful part of the entire process. So after the 2 longest days of my entire life, we had our first day. I'm getting kind of thirsty. Are you guys thirsty? Let's get something to drink. On day 1, thankfully, they don't put you out on your own. They put you with a trainer to do what they call a nursery route. And the trainer shows you exactly what you need to do, everything. And there's no possible way that you can give the wrong package to the wrong person. My trainer for these 2 days was actually super nice. And those 2 days were so easy. A typical day shows up with you coming to work, getting your van assignment, running around looking for your van like crazy because they don't number the spots. Where's mine? I think this one's mine. I can't tell. Let's just get in it and see if it starts. Oh yeah! Yeah! Then you have to do a vehicle inspection to make sure your car is okay to hit the road because some of these cars are super messed up because people hit things with them all the time. Wow, thank you. That's big. My hot chocolate. Once your van is ready for the day, it's time to get your packages. I only have 66 stops. Good morning. Good morning. This process was also always super stressful for me because on top of it being peak season, there was always just so many packages all over the place and they only give you 10 minutes for the entire process. So that means you have to find them, bring them to your van, load them all up, all in 10 minutes. But once you finally get that all done, you're on your own for the rest of the day. The company that you're working for is tracking you throughout the day to make sure that you're staying on track with your deliveries. You guys, look at how much stuff I have in here. I had another one right here, but I did that already. So it's 15 bags and then 20 overflow. And look at this stack. Really? There's only one in this entire bag? Sometimes I would have 2 or 3 stops left and they would call me to see if I would want to help somebody else out. On snowy days, it's a no. All right, I think I'm gonna go home so I can tell you guys some crazy stories. Bye, Savi. Okay, I think we should start off with one of my favorite stories. On my very first day with a trainer, we came up to this house and the delivery instructions said, please leave on front porch. But when we got there, there was a goat on the porch. No, not the goat, a goat, like an actual pet goat. I'm not even kidding you, it was just sitting there guarding the door, just watching us. The trainer I was with literally ran so fast, threw it up there and ran away. That goat didn't even see it coming. He literally told me that he's never seen a goat guarding a door on the job before. The first major con that was ultimately the biggest deal breaker to me can be put into one word. Winter. So I was scheduled to work on Halloween night, and in Michigan, it's not unusual for it to snow around this time. I was carrying a package that was bigger than me through 12 inches of snow. And while I was walking up to the customer's house, they opened the door and yelled, hey, I like your costume. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry or scream. I didn't know what to do. So my first response was trick or treat, and then they gave me a ton of candy. There was one time I came up to this house that was in the middle of nowhere, and this lady just came running out of her house. So I stopped at the end of their driveway, I got the package, I gave it to her, and she was just so excited. She ripped that thing open right there. She showed me what she had gotten, and it was like this dress. But then she took off her shirt and put the dress on and asked me, how does this look? I want to wear it to my daughter's wedding. There was only one thing I could do at this point. It was to hype her up. I was like, yes, girl, that looks so good. It fits you perfectly. I think that was one of my favorite interactions with somebody on the job. All right, the pros and cons. So I think one thing that definitely goes in both categories is that this job is physically demanding. So if you like getting your steps in, if you like to like work out, if you like to be sore, this is a good job for you. I really like that I was on my own most of the time and it was really good money. And some of the places that I went were absolutely gorgeous. Like the houses were so beautiful. Now the cons. There are some really ghetto places that they send you. I also felt like the entire day I just felt like I was rushing, which easily left me feeling completely burnt out. Sometimes there are really rude people, but I didn't encounter too many. And the last thing, there are some really nitpicky things about this job. In conclusion, I first want to say thank you to every person that does this every single day, because this job is hard. I have a lot of respect for you and I have no idea how you've been doing it for so long. One thing I really did appreciate as a driver is how many people actually had snacks and drinks on their front porch for their delivery drivers. So I just want to say, please be kind to your drivers. They're literally running and they're literally stressed, especially during the holiday season. So cut them some slack. And if I had to give it a rating on my rating scale, I would probably give it this one. Also, if you have any other questions about the job, feel free to put them in the comments. And make sure you subscribe if you like the vibe. See ya!